Well, I'm back with yet another project. I've got this little trailer here that me and my dad have had for years. We use it for hauling various stuff around. We use it a lot of times in the woods, hauling out firewood, and we've been having issues breaking these plastic lights. You can see here this one's shot, and this one's been broken and taped up. So I decided it's time for a rewire. I went ahead and stripped the old wiring off. I didn't get that on film, unfortunately. You can see here what's left of it. I guess this is the connectors that would have came with these lights, and then they were spliced into this with pigtails, and it was taped up, and those were getting corroded, and the lights weren't working properly. So what I've decided to do is of course rewire it, and then I've got some LED lights and a metal housing on the way, and I'm either going to bolt or weld them right on to these brackets to hopefully prevent them from getting hung up and stuff in the woods, and they should last a lot longer. So this bracket here actually got hung up and was bent all the way forward, and I beat it back into place and put a whole bunch of beads of 6011 on, so it shouldn't be going anywhere. I've got the license plate bracket on here. I may have to move it, but so anyway, I'll show you here. I've got a wiring harness for this trailer harness I bought. I don't know, I think this might have came from Harbor Freight or something. It seemed like it had decent reviews. Looks to be decent quality, and it's actually split here. It's a 4-wire harness connector, but it has actually 5. It's got a brown and a red split coming off of here, so that way instead of having to go across the back side of the trailer like you have to do and like was done on with the other wiring, I can actually run 2 separate legs down both sides, so that'll make things a little easier. And I've got wire loom here, some abrasion protector. I'm going to slide that on both sides, and I got to figure out how I want to hold this in place. I'll probably use some type of screw-on clamps to go up on the boards to make sure it's secured nice and tight up under the trailer, so it doesn't, there's little chance of it getting hung up on a stick or something and ripping it out of there. So anyway, I'll try to get some footage, probably a little time-lapse video here, and hopefully we'll have a nicely wired trailer when this is done. All right, here's the wiring harness. The red and yellow are actually fused, and the green and brown are fused. The white is ground wire, and it was actually, I guess, nice. They gave you the full 25 foot of it, but I'll end up cutting it off probably 2 or 3 foot long and have the ground bolted to the actual frame of the trailer pretty close to the tongue. There's no reason to run it all the way to the rear of the trailer. Fortunately, I had plenty of experience growing up with bait casters out bass fishing, so I'm no stranger to undoing knots. This is not the greatest quality loom here that I've got. Most of the rest, I've got several different sizes I use for various projects to protect wiring, and this was actually some of the worst. Actually, I should have the tag here. I wouldn't recommend it. I'm using it for this trailer because I'm hoping it doesn't see as much abrasion, but this is Pipe Man's Installation Solution. LM 38 100 black, 100 foot of 3/8 inch. This is just really thin, and it's not thick enough to really seriously protect a wiring. I wouldn't use it on like a mower or in my engine bay somewhere. It probably wouldn't hold up. Okay, I'm gonna cut this piece off here. This is 25-foot length. My trailer's not nearly that long. Okay. All right, there's what we've got. A whole lot of wiring. See how it turns out. So since this is a homemade trailer made out of angle iron, I've got some straps here that I'm going to attach on the inside of this portion of the tongue, and then I'm going to run the rest of the wiring actually through the angle iron cross members or cross beams of the trailer. I'm going to bore holes in it and use these rubber grommets to keep from tearing up the wire loom and the insulation on the wires. So I think what I'll do is use this hole saw, go ahead and start drilling these holes, and then we'll work on getting the wiring clamped on and ran down each side. Then I'll install the lights, wire everything up, and see how it works. This is actually a tilt bed trailer, so I've tried to figure out the best way to go here on the hinge with the wiring so it doesn't get pinched or have any problems. And I think if I come off this piece of angle iron that goes to the tongue, I'll have one of those strap clamps right here, and then I think I'll shoot straight over and I'll drill my first hole right about here for one of those grommets. Okay, there's the first grommet. That should work. This angle iron's a little thick, so it hardly wants to fit in there. It's kind of tough drilling, but we've got it. 5 more to go. Luckily, there's pre-drilled holes on down here.
Hi.
Hello?
2 things.
Huh?
Corky was grounded at Bonnie and jumped in the ditch and face planted. And Bonnie came into your yard and took a big dump.
A big nasty one.
Figures.
Sick.
Been
Is
eating
this on
healthy.
camera?
Huh?
Is this on camera?
Yeah, the camera's under here.
Yeah. And that is all.
Nice.
Corky's her face is all muddy.
Yeah.
Face planted in the ditch.
It's
Okay,
cold.
it's cold. We're moving on.
See ya. Okay, we've got number 2. Okay, there's number 3. Oh, you can see here that grommet and the bracket where the light's going to be mounted. So I'm going to go ahead and get the other side done, and we'll start running the wiring. Okay, there's number 5. Okay, there's the last one, number 6. I've got the wires pulled through the grommets on both sides. Now I've got to do some fitting and see how I want to run it along this tongue here and make sure I leave enough extra to hook up to different vehicles. I think I got the whole front end of the trailer wiring done now. What I did here was I left some extra. Sometimes vehicles you got to go a little further forward than others with the wiring, so I can wrap it around this cross beam here if I need to get it out of the way. I kept the wire loom split all the way up to about here and zip tied it together, and then taped the rest of the wiring just to kind of keep it from getting hung up. So that's still wrapped around, and I've got this much extra wiring, so if I need to I can unwrap it another round and go some more, but I think that should be pretty good. I've got the ground on now here for this strap. It's contained in the loom pretty good, so move on to the back and get the lights put on. Okay, I don't think that's going to be going anywhere. I left a little bit of gap there so I can run the wires up in between the trailer frame. But I've got it tacked on in 4 spots. I think that's going to hold. Shouldn't be going anywhere. I'm going to take this last length of wire. Here's the light housing right here. I've left just enough space to sneak that wire up with the loom in and hopefully go through the grommet that I put in. So I'm going to put the last connector to hold it tight right here up on this board. I think that should do it for me. Okay, there it is. Run that wiring through here, up into the light box. Get the other side done. Okay, that ought to do it. There's what I'm wanting to do with the wiring. I'm going to go right up in between the trailer. There was a hole that was cut into this box, and I had a grommet that just barely fit, so I put it in there so that way the wiring's not rubbing on those metal edges. There was kind of some sharp edges on these. I got a file out and filed most of those off, but anyway, that should keep that protected. So now I'm going to figure out the length of wire I need, cut it down, sneak it through here, and work on getting these two lights wired up, and we'll be just about done. Here's the two lights. The side light, it's got a ground wire, a running light wire, and then the main LED's got the ground, the running lights, and the actual turn signal. So the ground that they provided with these, especially this side light, is actually not long enough to go over to the frame. So I don't know if I may drill a hole and just bolt them to the back side of this housing so that way they're grounded there. And then of course we grounded the wire coming from the truck up there towards the tongue, so they'll ground through the frame itself. But I may end up just drilling a hole and doing it that way, bolting them. Otherwise I have to cut these two, splice them together, run a jumper over here to the frame, and I still have to drill a hole in it. So I think I'll just come in from the back side. Okay, so looking at these wires, the yellow should be the left turn and the brake light, and then the right, or the red here, that is split off with the brown for the right side, and so that should be the tail lights or the running lights. So I think what I have to do is jumper the blacks from both the side and the main light to the red, and then the yellow light will go to the red light on the LED here. This wiring came with pigtails, but I don't really like using those, so I'm going to try to make it work with these butt connectors, heat shrink. They're a lot less susceptible to getting corrosion in them. Okay. Okay, that feels good. We'll go ahead and do a test on it. That should do it. Well, I gave it a little too much beans on this side and I broke through the insulation, but I think I'll put some liquid electrical tape on that. That's all buttoned up now. Just put the light back in. Should be good to go. Go get him, Corky. Go home. Come on. Go get him. Go get him. Go get him. Get back. It's all right. Both sides are done now. There they are. I'll shoot a little paint over those boxes to keep them from rusting, but I think that should do a good job. I've got the wiring coming in. Got the wiring coming in down here along the side, bottom of the trailer. Now I just need to weld on the license plate bracket, attach the license plate, hook this dude up. Okay, not the greatest welds in the world, but perfectly fine for the license plate. I've got it moved over a little bit, and I left a small gap in between the bracket and the housing so I can kind of tuck it down in, because it had problems with getting hung up a lot and bent, so that should help with that. Well, there you have it, folks. The trailer's completely rewired. Should be pretty bulletproof. Got these metal housings, fixed the license plate bracket, all new wiring, LEDs, it's waterproofed. Let me get in here, turn on the hazards so we can see it. They're not super bright, but the main thing is that we'll have lights at night. There you go. And there you go. Yeah, I'm happy with the way these turned out. I shot a little paint on them. I don't think they're going to be going anywhere. Check my tires, but this trailer should be good. It's been a good trailer for us, and just tune it up a little bit now and go ahead and get this mower delivered. Keep hauling things. So, thanks for watching.